My name is Frank Cohn. I'm the Executive Director of VAST. VAST is the Vancouver Association for Survivors of Torture. We have been around and providing services to clients in need since 1986, 31 years ago, started by a group of activists who were responding to the needs of Central American refugees who were arriving here at the time. And since 1986, VAST has served successive waves of refugee clients seeking services, or those who are arriving in Canada and Vancouver, not necessarily knowing what counseling is, not necessarily knowing what therapy or group support is, but knowing that they are coming from a place of significant need, that they are survivors of experiences that nobody should have had to undergo. And our staff, many of whom have been with us for a long time, do an incredible job of providing support to these clients. So VAST, the Vancouver Association for Survivors of Torture, serves directly about 350 clients each year. VAST clients come from over 100 different countries. The countries that are most represented in our client population vary depending on what is happening geopolitically in the world at the time. So our staff are working in two primary areas. They're either working with refugee claimants or they're working with government and privately sponsored clients. And they're working with two primary modalities. One is that they're working providing direct individual trauma-informed therapy to our clients, and the other is that we're doing group support. So every Monday we run a group for government and privately sponsored refugees called Landing and Settling, and every Wednesday we run a group for our refugee claimant clients, and that's called Getting Through It, and that refers to getting through the claimancy process, through the hearing, which is incredibly challenging, complex, re-traumatizing, stressful. And we find in our experience that the best way for clients to get through that is for them to have a group support, peer support, for them to be able to learn from each other. And so we, together with our partner SOS, facilitate that process. Here at VAST, any refugee who has recently arrived within the last 5 years is eligible for our services. And why 5 years? Because we recognize that very often the most important things that a client is doing when they first arrive in the country is not necessarily receiving counseling and group support. It's dealing with the immediate urgencies of their lives. So we practice what we refer to as a trauma-informed approach to settlement and a settlement-informed approach to trauma. And that's why we work so closely with the Immigrant Services Society of BC, why we work so closely with SOS, Settlement Orientation Services, because we recognize that our clients need to go through the settlement process in a healthy, practical, pragmatic way, need to figure out their housing, their food, their living, their family, their employment situations, and that these are the best ways to handle some of the deep stress and trauma that they're juggling. And only when we're doing that are we really able to do some of that deeper support work. We know from our experience with our clients, and we know from the research, that we should be providing 5 to 8 sessions at a minimum to each of our clients that are coming through, that this is what it takes to really work through some of the most significant challenges in terms of mental health and trauma and torture treatment upon arrival. That said, because of challenges with funding, because VAST no longer receives federal funding, because our funding on a provincial, municipal, and private level is limited, we are only able to serve clients for a smaller number of sessions each. What this results in is that we're able to do some really profound work in those first few sessions, but we're often not able to bring that work to full fruition. And that means that a lot of clients are left without all of the support that they need, and they're moving into new housing, they're moving into, whether it's Surrey or Langley or Port Coquitlam, they're moving into work, they're moving into new family life, and they've got some of the tools and skills from our counseling team that help them to adjust. But the reality is that they do need more. And the reality is that we've got a steady stream of referrals from all of our partners around the city, from health clinics, from schools, from refugee serving organizations, and that our capacity to serve those clients is quite limited.